how's it going? Welcome to our Monday weekly recap video. We're up here in the plant room today where it's nice and warm. It snowed a little bit yesterday and it's actually still a little bit dark outside right now. Before I get into last week's videos and the questions you guys had, a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. First off, I'm going to be doing a mail time at the end of this video. So right after Christmas, we received a bunch of boxes. I've got like 10 of them sitting here, and I wanted to make sure to unbox them on camera because I just so appreciate all the effort and time and thought that went into every gift that you guys have sent. Since the last mail time video we did where I unboxed all those ornaments, I have been putting additional things we've received in our Facebook and Instagram stories just to make sure that everybody's gift was shown because they're just all so individual and unique and I love them all. So anyway, stick around to the end of this video for that mail time, which is a little bit odd for a Monday video, but kind of fun. The second thing I want to talk about is the Garden Answer Gathering event, which we talked about more in length in last week's video. We got the dates wrong, so I just wanted to correct that information. The event is the first week in June. It's Friday and Saturday. Let me read it so I make sure I get it right. June 5th and 6th, and the second event is Sunday, June 7th. I think the most common question we've seen so far is when tickets can be purchased. So we do know that they're going to go on sale January 25th, and I will be updating more information in these Monday videos in terms of like what time and where you can go to buy those tickets. It'll be first come, first serve, and then we will be updating our website as we get more information. There's not really a whole lot, right, Erin? There's not a whole lot on there right now, but as we get that information, we'll update the website and then we'll be sure to let you know in videos. So our website is gardenanswer.com/events. So like put that in your bookmarks. Okay, so let's get into the videos. First one was actually from the past week because I completely skipped it. It was the Natural Christmas Tree Challenge where I decorated a Christmas tree in our front sun porch with mostly all natural things. I cannot believe I missed that video. I was bragging to Erin too about how like quickly I was able to gather up a bunch of questions. Well, of course I was able to do it quickly because I missed a whole video. First question was from Rhonda. Do you spray your hydrangea blooms with anything? I dried some for the first time, but it still sheds some. I think mine would shed putting them in a tree. Mine did shed a little bit. I don't spray mine with anything. I wonder if you could spray them with like a spray adhesive. I don't know if that would help at all, but they are pretty fragile when they're dry. I think it's just kind of like comes with the territory. Imagine that says, will you do a video on how you string your lights on a tree? That is the hardest part of decorating for me. I like a lot of lights, but I don't want to see all the cords either. How do you do it? So I actually floral wrap trees, which means like I start at the base and I go around the trunk, like wrap around the trunk. It's a pain and it's tedious, but it really does look better. And then I come out on every single branch, wrapping the branch, and then I wrap back down it, go to the next branch, wrap up that branch and back down. So there's no cords hanging all over in the tree because that can make things look a little bit messy, especially in the daytime when you can see the cords. Connie says, in one of your videos, I noticed you using an auger. Which auger do you prefer? I'll be purchasing one in the future, so I was wondering which one you like best. Power Planter has a really nice line of augers. They're super heavy duty, lots of different lengths and diameters. We will try to remind me to remember to link our Power Planter auger video down below so you can check that out for more information. Which part of decoration would you say is your favorite? Oh, on that tree, which decoration was my favorite? I love the dried orange slices just because the light's shining through. They looked almost like stained glass. I loved those. I also loved the paper fans, even though that was probably the one part of the tree that was maybe not technically natural because the paper was printed on, but I don't know. I just loved that whole tree like as a whole. I think it all came together pretty nicely. Nancy said, I love the natural look. I noticed the ferns on your sun porch. How are you keeping them looking so wonderful? Well, I'm not really because we didn't get a close-up on those. And if you would have seen a close-up, you would notice that they need to be groomed very badly. This is the best I've ever done with ferns though, and I think it's because they're in the sun porch and not in the house. I think it's too dry. I have one fern in the house that for some reason, and I just posted a picture of it this last week, it has lived and thrived in the spot I put it in for the past year, and it's still in its original plastic pot. I never missed it. Sometimes it goes 3 weeks without water and it's still alive. Usually all of my Boston ferns defoliate and look horrible and they're a huge mess, and I typically don't even try to winter them over. They're kind of like an annual for me because they're so finicky. But the ones in the sun porch, I think they're doing better because they're getting cooler temps and it's a little more humid in there. It's not so cool that it freezes, but anyway, they don't look that great, to be honest. Like in the spring, I'll probably cut them all the way back and let them flush back brand new. Okay, so the actual first video from this last week was setting up bird feeders and planting bulbs. Starla said, do you have trouble with the squirrels raiding your feeders? You mentioned the harder shells help, like the safflower shells. We do multiple types of seed too, and have one feeder that's squirrel proof, but they're in that area year round, even without feeders up. The things that I put on top in that video, somebody messaged, actually a few people messaged, I thought it was just to deflect rain and extra moisture, which it is for that too, but it's also like a squirrel baffle. It keeps the squirrels from being able to get underneath because they're, pretty wobbly. I don't know how a squirrel would be able to get to a feeder that way, so you might try one of those hood looking things. And like you said, there are squirrel-proof feeders. We have squirrels, and for some reason the squirrels just don't seem to bother the feeders. And it could be too that I've got the feeders on S-hooks, really long ones, and they're not anywhere near a branch where they can reach. So I feel like they don't even get a taste for it. Lauren said, I thought you were taking the week off. Well, we kind of did. So we didn't post on New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve is tomorrow. We didn't post on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or the day after Christmas, and that felt like an eternity to me. I am so driven by I like to accomplish things, and when we don't post, I feel like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? So we had, initially thought we would pull back, and we did a little bit, but then we did a few projects. I don't know. It was a nice week either way. But Lauren also said, once the bulbs are in the pots bloom that I planted, can you plant them in the landscape? Yes. So typically I'm ready to have those bulbs out of the containers, pretty much right after they're done blooming and looking kind of bad. And I'll just pop them out and put them in the landscape somewhere. And then I let them continue their kind of yellowing process on their foliage. And as soon as all the leaves look pretty bad, I just cut them off like I do normally out in the landscape. And they tend to take that transition pretty well. Melissa asked if we have any cardinals in our area. We do not, unfortunately. I've never seen a cardinal in real life. Becca said, do you not have hummingbirds in your area? We do, but only in the summertime. They're smart birds and they go somewhere warmer during this time of year. Julie said, what did you end up doing with the wooden topiary forms you made last year? They were awesome, and did they hold up? So I made those embroidery hoop wood sphere topiary things to kind of mimic the metal ones that I had, because the metal ones are amazing, and I had such a huge amount of questions and messages and people wanting to know where to get those metal topiary forms, which I think they're available now somewhere because I see people using them this winter a lot, but they weren't. They were all back ordered and you couldn't get them the year before. So I just came up with that embroidery hoop video so that I'd give you guys an alternative. They held up really well for me. They were out all winter long. They were out there in the spring. They're actually in the barn right now just because I like to change up the look of my containers. So I'll probably use them again. I'll probably give them a fresh coat of paint though. Can you do a video on how to train a boxwood hedge from the beginning? Do you trim the sides to encourage growth sideways and ignore the top so that the growth is out rather than up, or is it a combination of both? So I don't really know a technical professional way of creating a boxwood hedge. I just kind of gauge how my boxwoods are doing, and I do a combination of both training from the sides and from the top. Typically, on the new west side area we planted up last year with a ton of boxwoods, I did a little side training and I left the upward growth a little bit. When you cut the top growth, it will help your plant stool out a little bit, but they're so small looking when you very first plant them that I like the height. So I just did a little cleanup on the edges, and then I think this next spring I'll go in and kind of top them just a little bit. But it just depends on where my hedges are at. The one in Versailles around the urn, I did kind of the same thing. I started by lightly topping the boxwoods just so they were all kind of on the same playing field, and then I lightly turned up the sides just to make it look a little bit more like what I wanted in the end. And I just keep doing that, and they are almost a hedge this last year. So I'm really expecting them this year to be completely together. I'm excited. Tammy asked if I broke down and got new shoes. So I didn't actually. I haven't bought any new shoes. Those are Vans that I've had in my closet for a long time. I don't know. I had them in there. I kind of forgot, and they're cleaner and they don't have holes in them like my others. I do still have my leopard print ones. I have a few pair actually, and they're all blown out and I still wear them. I love those shoes. I need to figure something else out though. Kate said, I went to your favorite tools tab on your website recently and it's awesome. I have a birthday coming up and just bought my forever home. The question was, have you found a replacement for the Tommy Co kneeling pad since it's no longer sold, which is such a bummer. It was that big red kneeling pad that was kind of like gel, and I loved the size of it. I loved the feel of it. It didn't like break down. The one that I'm using now, I think it's just called the pad, and there's different, I think, and there's different thicknesses. So I have like the regular thickness, which is maybe an inch or a little bit more, and then I've got like the 2.5 incher. And they're both nice and big size. I don't like them as much as the Tommy Co one. I liked the shape, like the oblong shape of that one, but they're working out just fine. They're breaking down a lot quicker though. Laura said, speaking of flower bed maintenance, our ground is not frozen here. I have plans to expand some flower bed borders. Do you think it's okay to start with that? Absolutely. Whatever you can get done now. In fact, we'll probably have a video out about that later on this week. Whatever you can get done now, like do it. If the ground isn't frozen, like go out there and create new flower beds. Do like mulch, clean up flower beds, continue weeding. I have weeds still growing. So yeah, I'm all about that. Okay, next video was a citrus growing update. So this past summer we did a video where I showed you potting up a Meyer lemon tree into a new container and just talking about how to have success with containerized citrus plants. So I wanted to give an update on that because my citrus are doing awesome. I posted a picture of the lemon on Instagram and Facebook, and there were lots of questions, so it kind of like reminded me that I needed to do this update video. Gretch says, that's the exact citrus tone I used for my dad's Meyer lemon tree. His tree always has been outside and was very neglected for some time. The tone helped a lot, and also used neem oil on the leaves to get rid of any ugly pesty creatures, which is awesome. That's great. The tree is blooming. He really takes care of it now that he knows that the tone and the oil help, which makes me so happy to hear, because honestly, that citrus tone and using the right soil, it has all helped out my success rate so much. So to hear that it's helped out somebody else is amazing. That also reminds me about something I wish I would have mentioned in the video. We did put a little text on the screen, but there were two different types of fertilizer I showed you. The citrus tone, which is a granulated fertilizer, and then the citrus fertilizer that's liquid. So the granulated fertilizer, it is manure-based, organic, which means it does have a little bit of an aroma. When I initially planted my citrus outside, I mixed it in with the soil. They were outside for months. I never noticed any sort of smell, and I don't usually when you mix it in with the soil. But if you're keeping your citrus indoors and it's somewhere where you're at a lot, you might want to opt for the liquid variety of the citrus fertilizer because there's far less aroma. So anyway, I just want to make sure I mentioned that. They're both really great fertilizers. Flower Power said, are you wearing a Miss Orchid Girl hoodie? My two fave channels are colliding, and I was. So if you are interested in orchids, orchid care, getting orchids, I don't have very many myself. I think I have like 2 or 3, but Miss Orchid Girl's channel is awesome. You guys should check it out if you're interested in orchids, because she does like them all. It's really informative. It's a good channel. Anyway, so we like to support wherever we can. We'll link her channel down below. Jane said, any tips on how to get your oranges to be sweeter? My in-ground orange tree always produces well, but the oranges are juicy, but on the tart side. So, okay, I don't have a ton of experience with in-ground citrus plants because I can't grow them. I think they're all like a zone 8, like 8 to 10 or 8 to 11, and we're a zone 5, sometimes 6. This winter, I'd say we're a solid 6 so far. But I do know that they need proper sunlight, they need proper water, and I think that water, especially once they start to bloom and set fruit, if you increase the amount of water, that should make them a little juicier and sweeter. Also, they need the proper nutrients, so they utilize a lot more nutrients and different nutrients when they're starting to bloom and fruit. So if you give them like the citrus tone, something like that, that will help their fruit be better. And the last question on that video was, will you share a video on stories when you cut into this lemon, please? I'm so curious. I'm assuming the pink lemonade lemon. I'm so curious what the inside looks like and would love to see how you use it. Yes, I can absolutely put that in my stories. So just be like keeping your eyes open for that. They're not ripe quite yet, but I'm like assuming in the next couple of weeks. And then the last video from this week was what to do if your bulbs come up too early. So I posted a picture of some of my tulips that are sprouting. They're above the ground like an inch or two, and I think a lot of you guys were in the same position, so I did a quick video about what you can do. And honestly, like in the end, I would say not to worry too much about it, and that's kind of what the first comment was. Lynn said, I've always been told they're used to the change and adjust themselves. It does scare me though. And that's very true. They're so cold tolerant and they're so tough. But like I said in the video, that foliage that emerges, that comes up a little early, can be damaged. I've had it happen before to where like my tulips in the spring, they end up coming up and blooming beautifully, but then the ends of the leaves look all brown and kind of like cracked. So if there's something I can do to prevent that from happening, it does make for a prettier show, but I don't think it really, in the end, keeps them like, I don't know, keeps them from blooming. I kind of lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so I think what I was trying to say is I think the mulch will help the leaves look better, but unless you're seeing buds, I don't think it's going to like make the blooms better or anything, because the blooms are still under the ground. Does that make sense? Anyway, let's move on to the next question. Did you get the cling on off the back of your hair? So I think I was rocking some kind of a leaf on the back of my head that whole video, probably. That probably happens a lot. I don't know, it comes with my job, I guess. Sharon says, what happens if you step on the buds? Well, if you were to step on the things that I was seeing, all the leaves, it would crush them and damage them. So you try not to step on them. And I know it looks like I was probably stepping on them in the video, but I was stepping over the big drift of them, and I was being super careful. Sometimes you can't avoid it, especially if you plant a huge drift of something and you have to get in there. It's not going to damage the flower bed though, again, unless your bulbs are more advanced in their growth. But mine, that bulb bud is still underneath the soil surface. All you're seeing is leaves. Renee says, great tip on repurposing the Christmas tree. Question, won't the extra heat from the mulch make them grow even faster? I guess not, but why? No, it really won't. It'll just protect them. It'll provide a little bit of insulation if the temperature turns for the worse. And the last question is from Rachel. Can you buy mulch anywhere this time of year other than online? I don't have any problem finding mulch. My parents' garden center always has mulch on hand. Home Depot has mulch. It's usually like in the very back section, but you can usually find some. So I would check with your local garden center first, and if not, you might try a box store. Okay, so that's it for questions from videos. A little bit lighter on that this week since we didn't post every single day. So now real quick, I'm gonna move my computer off, move the boxes up, and we will do a little mail time. All right, so I'm gonna start with the biggest one first. This is from Angie and Ambrose Salazar, who have the YouTube channel Garden Obsessions. They've actually been helping out a lot with our Garden Answer Espanol channel. And I have already cut open all these boxes. I did that downstairs before I brought them up here, so I didn't have to do that part. And I did open this a little bit, like I opened it yesterday and I took a couple things out because a lot of it's for Benjamin and it's the sweetest thing. So you'll see here that there are wrappers from 2 different sets of cars. So Benjamin saw those and flipped out. He loves them. Ambrose and Angie, you guys like nailed it for Benjamin. He absolutely loves those. And then also there's a little Batman outfit, which is the perfect size, 2T. Look at this. Look at these cute pants. That he's gonna look so cute in that. Also, a little kids activity kit. So it's got a little mini, it's probably kind of, hold on, let me open this. So there's a little mini kneeling pad, a little pair of kids gloves, and then a little trowel or digging fork and a little trowel. Look how cute. I just absolutely love this. And a nutcracker for my nutcracker collection. Angie and Ambrose, thank you so much for such a sweet gift. You guys will link their channel down below if you want to check it out. Okay, let's do this one next because this one came all the way from Ireland. This one is from Rebecca. Oh. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May God hold you in the palm of his hand. What a cool ornament. I love it. Thank you. And all the way from Ireland too. Do you know that Aaron and I spent our 8th anniversary in Dublin? Little fun fact there. This next one is from Pamela in Texas. So first off, there's some Renew Intensive Skin Therapy Lotion in Pure Lavender, which is something I always appreciate getting. Thank you. Oh, we've got some bling. Oh my word. There are like lots of little, so there's a little frog charm on here, a little tassel, diamond, a little crown. Oh, how cute is that? Okay, but it's gonna take me, I think, a minute to untangle this. Okay, there's 2 different necklaces here. Okay, I got it. Okay, so check that out. Oh, my goodness. Nice. Thank you, Pamela. And this is from Chelsea in Minnesota. I did open this one yesterday, and she handmade this sweatshirt. So she knows black is my color, and she said this is her favorite floral pattern fabric in her stash right now. It's in the shape of Oregon, which is very appropriate. Very nice. And a really beautiful ornament for our tree. Thank you, Chelsea. So this is from Marilyn, and she said we should receive 2 different ornaments from 2 different shipments. So this is shipment number 1. I don't know if we've got shipment number 2 or not. I think this is the second shipment. Oh, look at this. It's a glass lemon slice ornament and a lime wedge. And this is from Steve and Sally in Washington. Oh, this is cute. A reusable shopping bag that's got succulents and cactus all over it. Love that. And then what is in here? Oh my. These look to be all hand done. Oh, they're all birding. How appropriate. Like with the lemon and the lime and now the birding with last week's videos. Look at these, you guys. These are all just blank note cards, but they're all gorgeous. They were made by John Cornacchio, barn swallow, a towhee, goldfinches, and wood duck, and a scarlet tanager, which we sometimes see here. That's amazing. Thank you. Boy, those are like frameable. Could frame these in a collage. 2 boxes left. This is from Celia in Virginia. Oh my, look at that. A cardinal. Isn't that pretty for the tree? And I've never seen a cardinal in real life. This is as close as I'm gonna get here, probably for a while. One day. And this one is from Michelle in Ohio. She says, I know you were admiring the chandelier ornaments on your friend's tree. What can we have in here? Oh my word. Oh, look at how pretty. I think there's more than one. There's 2 in here. Oh, now this is my speed right here. I absolutely love these ornaments. These will go great. I love having so many themed trees because these will go great on my great room tree that's all gold and silver and a tiny bit of red. The cardinal will be great on our either like a garden themed tree or the groupie ornament tree or a nature themed tree. So it's so fun to have different themes because like these right here will go on our nature themed tree. A couple of owls. Those are cute. Owls with hats and scarves. Awesome. Thank you guys all so much for all of these things that you've sent. It's just kind of overwhelmingly awesome. Like I never really know how to express how blessed we feel by you guys. And especially this time of year, you know, like we have time to sit and reflect on, you know, everything that we've done in the year and all of you guys that we've gotten to, like we get to know you guys a little bit better and the world's a smaller place and it's just so cool that we can connect with so many people all over the place and just learn about each other's gardens and all of our passions and everything. I don't know. It's just so awesome. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you all have an incredibly awesome new year. We'll see you in the next video. Bye. Also, a quick PS, I wanted to say thank you to all of you guys who have sent Christmas cards as well, because like this stack is just from the last day or two, and it's just so amazing to read all of your stories, to see pictures that you guys have included. I just appreciate it so much. I did want to read a letter that I got from Abigail in North Carolina that I thought was so sweet. So she did include some pictures too of herself and her dog and things like that, but she just said, this is the note here. It says, Merry Christmas. Hi, Laura. My name is Abby, and I'm 10 years old. I've been watching your videos for a year and a half. I have a dog named Levi who is 1. I love farm animals. I want cows, chickens, horses, pigs, etc. I know I could take care of them. It's just that we live in a neighborhood. My mama has a small farm too. Guess what I asked for Christmas? A Jersey cow. With a smiley face. I really want one. One of my friends has 600 acres and 100 cows. That's a lot of cows. I get so excited when I see your videos come out. I would love to see a chicken routine video. My mom, Crystal, watches your videos too. We're looking for houses in Concord, North Carolina with 5 acres so that we can build a small farm. I love it when you make videos related to farm life. There's so much I could say to you. Please open this in a video. Here you go, Abby. I'm learning about mini Jersey cows so that I can get one. I also check your Instagram 24/7. My dog Levi is 20 pounds and his breed is Shih Tzu. My dad said he's going to get me a farm. Please write back to Laura, love, Abby. I just think that was the sweetest thing ever. So Abby, thank you so much for taking the time to write this note to me and for sending pictures. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.